I've always been fascinated by the eerie allure of antique shops. The aged artifacts and forgotten treasures seem to carry whispers of the past. Little did I know that my latest acquisition, a seemingly innocent doll, would unleash a nightmare that defied reason. It all began when I stumbled upon an old curiosity shop tucked away in the heart of the city. The air inside was heavy with the scent of dust and time, and the dim light created a mysterious atmosphere. I wandered through narrow aisles, each lined with forgotten trinkets and relics. Among the clutter, I spotted an antique doll that seemed to beckon me. The doll was hauntingly beautiful, with porcelain skin and raven black curls cascading down its shoulders. Its glassy eyes bore an intensity that sent shivers down my spine, but I couldn't resist its charm. The shopkeeper, an elderly man with a knowing smile, insisted the doll held a unique history. He mentioned something about a tragic tale from the past, but I was too enamored to pay much attention. The moment I brought the doll home, things took a turn for the unsettling. At first it was subtle, a creak in the dead of night, a shadow that moved too quickly to be natural. I dismissed these occurrences as the product of an overactive imagination, but the atmosphere in my home grew heavy. Soon my nights were filled with bizarre dreams. I found myself wandering through a desolate, fog-shrouded landscape, the echo of a child's laughter haunting the air. The porcelain doll would appear, its glassy eyes staring into the depths of my soul. The dreams left me disturbed, but it was the waking hours that became truly horrifying. The doll seemed to move on its own, changing positions when I wasn't looking. I convinced myself it was just my imagination, the product of stress or lack of sleep. But as the days passed, the evidence became undeniable. I'd leave the doll in one corner, only to find it perched on the windowsill the next morning, its gaze fixed on me. One night, I awoke to the sound of soft footsteps in the darkness. My heart raced as I strained to listen. The air was thick with an unnatural stillness. The footsteps drew closer, and an icy chill settled in the room. Trembling, I turned on the bedside lamp, and there it was, the doll, standing at the foot of my bed. Its eyes glowed with an eerie intensity, and a malicious grin twisted its delicate porcelain features. I tried to scream, but my voice caught in my throat. Paralyzed with fear, I watched as the doll's delicate fingers curled into menacing claws. It lunged at me, and the room plunged into darkness. When I awoke the next morning, I convinced myself it was just a nightmare, a manifestation of the stress that had consumed my life. But the terror persisted night after night. The doll became more aggressive, leaving scratch marks on the furniture and knocking over objects in its path. I felt like a prisoner in my own home, tormented by a malevolent force I couldn't comprehend. Desperation drove me to seek answers. I delved into the history of the doll, tracing its origins to a bygone era where tragedy had unfolded. Legend spoke of a grieving child who had infused the doll with the pain of a lost soul. The more I learned, the more I realized that I had unwittingly invited a vengeful spirit into my home. Determined to break the curse, I sought the help of a spiritual medium. Together, we performed a ritual to cleanse the doll of its malevolent energy. The air crackled with tension as we chanted ancient incantations, pleading with the spirits to release their grip on the porcelain vessel. As the ritual reached its climax, the room filled with an otherworldly presence. The doll convulsed, its porcelain face contorting in agony. With a final burst of energy, a haunting wail echoed through the room, and the doll fell silent. In the days that followed, the oppressive atmosphere in my home lifted. The nightmares ceased, and the doll became nothing more than an inanimate object. I couldn't shake the feeling that something lingered in the shadows, watching and waiting. The haunting experience left me with a newfound respect for the supernatural, a reminder that some relics are better left undisturbed in the dusty corners of forgotten shops.